got it bumping.
Hey, welcome to another video. I hope you guys are staying safe and well. Today is just a little quick one with the news that was coming out regarding Rockstar and their plans to shelve the I'm saying plans to shelve that they shelved the actual Red Dead Redemption remakes and the GTA 4 remakes, but the reasons why they shelved these plans that came out is what I felt I just needed to address, because I'm getting tired of these companies trying to get away with all of this cap. So again, going into the video, so this morning we got news that Rockstar shelved plans they had for GTA 4 remake and a Red Dead Redemption remake, claiming it was because of the negative reception of the Trilogy definitive edition, aka the disaster edition. But again, I said, like I said before, I felt I needed to address this cap because Rockstar is sort of going to use this to try and get their fanboys to go after the GTA 4 fans or the Red Dead Redemption fans. And again, we'll have that little civil war like we had with the Red Dead Redemption versus the GTA Online fans, where it's like we saw online to some of the Twitter replies to Tez's post. People were like, oh, if you guys didn't bash the Trilogy edition, you would have got your remakes, blah blah blah, that sort of thing, which we know, again, it's just ridiculous. But in any case, now reading from the article itself, it says that Rockstar Games reportedly shelved plans, the planned remakes including Red Dead Redemption and GTA 4, to focus on the upcoming GTA 6, which is the good part of the actual report. And then it's also, this is after the Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy definitive edition, was released to negative reviews from critics and fans alike. And according to a prominent leak reported by Kotaku, both Red Dead Redemption and GTA remasters were on the table a few years ago, but Rockstar chose not to proceed with the projects in mind. And Tez himself also attributed the cancellation of these remakes to the especially poor reception of last year's GTA Trilogy Remaster, which received 5 in IGN's review for its sloppy redesign and straight up broken mechanics. And now the studio is focusing on GTA 6, which was confirmed to be in development earlier this year. Though it's already been announced, fans shouldn't expect a wave of news about the title for a while, as Rockstar plans to reveal details about the game on its own schedule. And it's possible that GTA 6 won't come out until 2024 or 2025, and even then it'll reportedly have a smaller size, with plans for post-launch updates to help eliminate the crunch. Which, again, the second part of the report, totally fine with that. They should be focusing on GTA 6, and in no part should they still be, even right now, they shouldn't even still be putting in resources into GTA Online outside of, you know, like the updates just to keep the game environment going, but not actually dedicating like actual proper studio time. And likewise, it makes sense, because if you release a bad game, you don't want to follow that up with another bad game, and the bad game in this case being the Trilogy definitive edition, which was absolute failure, and then the expanded and enhanced, which was also just a half-baked upgrade. It wasn't even like a proper actual next gen upgrade like we saw with like studios like Sucker Punch did with the Ghost of Tsushima Iki Island expansion, that sort of thing. So again, they'll need the resources to be working on GTA 6, and again, understandably, rushing anything would be a huge mistake. Now we go back to the actual calling out on Rockstar is the regards to the bad reception of the remake, and that's fully on them, because remakes aren't always necessary, and they don't always necessarily do well, but generally when they're executed correctly, they are absolutely like perfect. And prime examples can be used being the Mafia remake, Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake, and all sorts of other remakes you can want to pick up. And we can even see now with the anticipation and hype surrounding the upcoming Resident Evil 4 remake, which is due to come next year, basically remaking Resident Evil 4 using the Resident Evil Village engine. And then also in September we have The Last of Us Part 1, aka The Last of Us the remake, which again fans are super excited for. I'm also super excited for it because we get to play the original Last of Us basically in the Last of Us 2 engine, and of course with a little bit of like story tweaks and gameplay mechanics added in that we got from the second game into the original first game. So of course everyone is going to be up for that and excited for that. But the keyword again being done properly, when you actually do an actual remake and modernize it to bring it to next gen, but you're not necessarily only remastering it. That's where you get the difference between a remake and a remaster, because just remastering the game would be like what we got with The Last of Us remastered when it was remastered for PS4. All they did was just, you know, beef up the graphics and everything and modernize it for the new engine without really remaking it. Whereas a remake is what you get with what Capcom did with the Resident Evil games, or again what Hangar 13, I don't remember if it was Hangar 13 or 2K, did with the Mafia remakes, again where the actual game is remade from the ground up. There's a few like canonical story changes and all sorts of things, gameplay mechanics, all sorts of changes that actually warrant it as a remake, so you're not getting the exact same game. But again, going back to Rockstar, when you give a studio like Grove Street Games, which originally failed to port over the mobile versions of the Trilogy when Rockstar assigned them to that some years back, they go back to that same studio. Excuse me, I got something in my throat. They go back to that same studio and basically give them the same work. So you're basically giving someone who failed the project the first time, giving them another project which is even harder and bigger than the original project they failed, without sort of like helping them, which again, it just makes no sense. Excuse me, again, my throat. And then they have the audacity to then try and blame the fans, or like come out and play victim and be like, oh, it had a bad reception, people were being harsh on it. I even remember when they had to absolutely they had to put this so bad, they had to put the originals back on the game stores. Because remember when the Trilogy edition launched, they pulled the originals from the game stores and they were like, oh, we're gonna replace this with the new definitive edition. But it was so bad. People were like, nah, give me back the originals, like keep your definitive edition. Some bullshit. So again, like, you can't play victim when you release a bad game. Going back to other examples, studios like EA, Ubisoft, like, if you release a bad game, you know, like, how does this shit through quality testing? Like, how does it go through QA, quality assurance? I'm saying quality testing, and you still launch it knowing you rushed it, which again could be like a corporate decision, like we saw with CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk, where they knew the base game was only working for next gen and for like really beefed up PC, and they knew it wasn't working on the original Xboxes and the original PS4s, that sort of thing, but they still went ahead and released it. So they had to hold that L because they knew what the doing. And so now this is the exact same thing that's happening now with Rockstar. They knew what Grove Street Games had released and done, so you now can't cry victim or play victim, whatever the saying is, excuse my English, once you get exposed for that bad shit. So again, bit of a short video today. Just wanted to call out sort of Rockstar's bullshit. Like, if you're gonna release a half-baked game, you can't then blame the fans for giving you shit, calling you out on your half-baked game. Just do better, or at least give the fans a heads up and be like, okay, we rushed this or whatever, this was undone, and we're then gonna patch it up, you know, post-release, try to fix it. Even though again, that's a bad thing for studios to do, it's better that way when the studios actually communicate with the fans and actually deal with things head on than, you know, trying to duck and hide, because that's how we've seen games have a bad launch and then come back to life, like Fallout and No Man's Sky, that sort of thing, where you have a shaky release but you still gain it back with the fans. But yeah, just wanted to address that quickly. Again, not the regular video, because I still am due to make 2 videos. I needed to do Ghost of Tsushima tribute and then a God of War tribute. Those were actually supposed to come out earlier this month, but I'm not finished editing those, so expect those within the upcoming weeks. But I figured I might as well actually start just doing news stories like these when things like this come up, just to, you know, cover it, say my piece so that people know my position, my stance, or whatever. Not that it matters, but I just feel like, you know, it's necessary And I enjoy when creators actually call out studios like this, because again, a lot of people don't care about all the behind the scenes and all sorts of this nonsense. So they just want to play the games and move on. But like, the games industry is moving in sort of a dangerous place, like I was saying, with loot boxes, microtransactions, all sorts of bullshit. There's a lot of studios taking advantage of their fans and their loyalties without, you know, actually delivering the product. So when studios do, it's right to call them. And again, Rockstar is one of my favorite studios. They've made arguably one of the greatest games ever to be made, Red Dead Redemption 2. They have one of the most successful franchises, fucking Grand Theft Auto. They are a big boy in this industry. But in recent years, ever since they lost certain leadership in the company and they've had like different structural changes, they've been moving a little sus, kind of like Ubisoft, that sort of thing. So whenever they do some stupid shit, it's always good to call them out. But again, just wanted to get that shit off my chest. Hope y'all stay safe out there, stay dangerous, and have a good one.
Agreed.
And why are you taking it off?
This is what I am now. What I overcame. Anything else feels wrong. Like a disguise.